You're probably going to want to be 2 or 3 kilometers back from the OM. So when I jump in, you can see me probably like 2 kilometers. Okay, you ready to missile me?
Yep.
Okay, so what we're testing here is I'm in a Nomad. I'm minding my own business. We have a scary pirate in a Andromeda loaded with missiles. I don't have my my countermeasures. I don't have my shields because I'm in nav mode. Let's see if I can react in time to save my life. Oh, I'm being missiled. And I'm good. Okay, so I would say test number 1 right there was fine. I didn't even do any crazy maneuvers, just flew in a straight line. Do we want to try one more time and then I maybe have the missiles follow me a bit longer? Ready? In 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm looking for my next QT location. And I'm waiting. Oh, and I'm being missiled. I'm going to start boosting away. Oh, that's really scary. Just flying in a straight line here and doing nothing crazy. 1 missile did connect, no damage. I'm full speed now. I'm just like decoupled full speed. The missiles I don't think can catch me. Oh, yeah, no, they're going to catch me. But I have plenty of time, ample time to QT out by this point. And Taylor, I don't think you could have caught me. There's no way. Also, can we talk about the new missile icon? It's pretty awesome, actually. I kind of like it. I'll go see if I can pull something bigger. Maybe like a Carrack or a Caterpillar or something like that. I don't know. I wonder how much of this is a performance issue. I do wonder that as well. Was just going to say is I don't feel like missiles should be accurately hitting you at full speed. I don't know. Like, I feel like there should be at least like a maneuver you can do or something, right? Like, if you're putting enough space between you and the missile, or you're like, you know, maneuvering right to get away from it, something's got to be there. Like, they shouldn't just be like insta hits. In a straight line they should hit. You know what? I agree with that. Like, the thing is like, while I want missiles to be strong, let's also recognize the fact that they've been mostly skillless in the majority of Star Citizen. So I don't think that like wanting good balance on them is like a bad thing at all. How would it perform if you were in a Prospector or a Vulture in atmosphere close to the surface? The exact same way it would perform in 322. You would get killed 100%. But there's no change between the last flight model and this one in that regard. You're slower, and like, what happens if you get missile spammed at SMO-18 on Microtech? Yeah, you're gonna die, right? But I feel like people are, you know, forgetting that there actually is quite a bit of like evasiveness still, but a lot of the evasiveness that feels gone was already gone in the previous patch too, right? Like, part of the problem with like evasion in the current patch, it's like pretty much impossible to have honorable combat at full speed in the current flight model, right? 322. You can't do it. Nobody wants to. It's hard to do. And when you do it, you're basically giving yourself a disadvantage. It's super fun when it happens, but it's so rare. I'm not a good pilot, but I feel like how no matter how I evade, I'm getting hit. You mean in master modes? I want you to go do a fight in 322 in Microtech, or even, dude, low atmosphere Daymar, and see if you have the same feeling. Because the truth of the matter is you will, right? And I feel like all that CIG is trying to do is condense combat into a smaller space. And in my opinion, it feels better that way, right? It feels really good, in my opinion, to turn around after a fight and look and all your teammates are there. If you want to leave combat, that's totally fine, but now you have to spool up your nav mode and leave. Best way to do that, in my opinion, is you chaff. People can't target you for a second, and while you're chaffing, you spool up your nav mode, you're good to go. There needs to be a balance to allow players to have more viable options than just guns, you feel me? I do, 100%. And I mean, I've talked about ways that they can make missiles better, but I gotta be honest with you, you're not gonna like my take. I think that the best way to balance missiles is take them off of 90% of ships, right? Or make it where when they're on ships, they are effective, but they have a like not a counter to them, but a side effect, which is that they're way heavier, right? This is like a real life thing. It's a real life thing. They have like what? Like lightweight mode and like beast mode on like the F-35s. With decoying, I wish that decoying was a skill check. And you know that like little circle that goes around here? I'll just pretend this is it. So whenever you get fired at by a missile, there's a circle that like closes in and it tells you how close the missile is to you. What I wish is that there was a sweet spot for each size of missile that if you dodged at this point right here and decoyed, you'd be safe, right? There's like some sort of like skill check to it. That's what I kind of wish. Because then it would take skill. And the thing is it would be a preoccupying task that would, I think, create a lot of dynamics in fights, because you would have to break away from someone if you got missiled. And if missiles were special and they weren't very common, then it would be meaningful, right? But if every ship in the game has missiles, then my idea doesn't work. That's the truth of the matter. It would be too distracting from combat. I think that's a great idea with servers that are great 100% of the time. Well, Master Modes is helping with that, right? Server meshing is helping with that. And here's the deal though, Murdoch, is like, if CIG can't fix the servers, we're f***ed anyways. Like, the game just can't happen. And I don't mean to sound negative. I just mean, at the heart of the game, this is a multiplayer video game. And if multiplayer doesn't work, people won't want to play, right? Look at 318, for example. Doesn't matter how cool the new features are. If the game doesn't work, people don't want to play. Not to say CIG can't do it. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not like, they can't do it, it's impossible. Because I actually do hope they can do it. I'm really believing in them. All right, so Taylor, I'm going to jump into you. Same thing, as many missiles as possible. Try to kill me as quick as possible, okay? I'm going to find a QT. Let's see if I live. Let's see if I
also to shoot.
Yeah, you can shoot if you like. Yeah, just attack me, missile me, shoot me. Whatever you think would kill me the fastest.
All right.
Okay, so here I am, just a humble gold trader, spooling up his C2, ready to sell it. Tram and Myers on selling. And here we go. I don't know anything. I'm just looking for my target. And, oh, I'm getting missiled. Oh, I'm going to start running away. Oh, took some damage there. I took a little bit of damage, but I'm good. Now, the thing is you could definitely follow me, right? And at that point, this is where I'm already in nav mode. You have to spool into nav mode now because you were shooting me. So yeah. I'm at a huge advantage because you know where I went, but now I can go ahead and just start already spooling up for the next spot, which is Comare. Yeah, I gotta be honest with you guys. I like the new navigation mode. I know that does the Mantis slow people down? Is that what it's doing? It's keeping people in SCM? Because that's the real kicker here, if that's true. Yeah. So that's crazy. But it doesn't really change anything, right? Because that was kind of the case in 322. It just speeds up the engagement. That's all. It's crazy, but I mean, it's the same as how it was. The 20 kilometers is a bug. Got it. CIG are putting it back. Even the Mantis is getting turned down to 2 to 3. Honestly, for master modes, that makes sense. It should be turned down. Okay, so here's what I want to do, Taylor, is we're going to pretend like I just jumped in and you're just going to start shooting me. So if you want to go 0 and 5, it's like towards my nose. So you jump and then you wait for me and then just try to shoot me, missile me. I'm not going to QT away this time. I just want you to try to chase me. Okay, you ready? So I just jumped in. You see me. Right, I'm in nav mode. Oh, I see that you're shooting me. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm just going to full speed past you. And I think something that you guys might not realize is boosting as close to them, getting their, like, passing by as close as possible is actually really, really essential here. Okay, I could have QT'd out already. I am going to just let the missiles do their thing. They didn't hit me. How far away are we now? 15 kilometers, 16 kilometers?
I'm already in nav mode and closing the gap, kind of.
But it's like, yeah, you're closing the gap, but I could have QT'd 10 times already, you know?
Yeah.
I think I gotta say something. I think you're safer in the new flight model, guys. You guys who don't like combat, I think you're safer in master modes. Actually, I think people are freaking out about this, saying it's a griefer's paradise. I think this is better for you guys.
I think if you're already in nav mode, it's safe. I think the problem is when you might start in SCM mode.
Yeah. Now here's the deal. Again, what changes this is if let's get Mantis or Paper and a Mantis. Let's do it. Let's actually have you guys try to pirate me. Can we try an Atmo after? Absolutely. But what I want people to understand about Atmosphere and Master Modes is that nothing has changed between Atmosphere and Master Modes and Atmosphere in 322. If you get missile spammed or you get pirated in SMO 18 on Microtech, you're done for anyways. It's game over anyways. There's no difference between this flight model and the last one in that case. Less than in space. In space, you're safer. In Atmosphere, it's unchanged. So many old CIG cinematic videos were invalidated the day of Master Modes. Dude, Master Modes is a more cinematic experience, and it's what Chris has been talking about building in the game for years. He's always said World War II, Star Wars style combat. Like he said it in Pillar Talks, he said it in convos like back in the day. It's always supposed to be sci-fi. It's always supposed to be World War II. It's always supposed to be slow. That's how it was always supposed to be. The whole idea that you could go fast in the last flight model was only supposed to be for navigating. That's it. They weren't ever intending that you did fights at high speed combat, guys. Like that's what people aren't understanding about 322 combat is the high speed part of the combat is not intended. You know, it's maybe fun to some people and it's fun when it works, but it's extremely exploitive. Master Modes doesn't seem cinematic at all. Do you want me to show you a fight of 322 and we can compare what's more cinematic? Because I guarantee you backstrafing at full speed EM missile spamming is less cinematic than diving on each other, micro jousting, and doing interesting combat maneuvers, even if in clone builds, there's not much geometry. Even if in 1v1 clone builds, there's not much geometry, I guarantee you it's more cinematic to watch Master Modes. If I wanted to watch missiles fly across the screen without ever seeing my opponent, I go watch The Expanse. You know, like, putting frankly. Missile spam and ramming, well, missiles work a lot more consistently in Master Modes, right? Missile spamming is definitely something that needs to be addressed. Here's the deal though, is ramming is not going to be addressed until they change the mass and collision system like Elite Dangerous did, in my opinion. So we're waiting on technology that isn't in the game yet and probably won't be in the game for a long time. That's broken in both flight models, right? You're talking about a problem that affects both flight models that isn't necessarily even a flight model problem. It's a mass problem. I think that there were parts of the old flight model that were too evasive, right? Yeah, is it stupid that 20 people can be waiting at you at SBK and do a 20-on-1 and because you're in master modes, they kill you in 2 seconds? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of stupid. But you know what's more stupid? That you can show up to SBK in 322 and evade 20 people for an hour because you're flying max speed in an F8 Lightning. You know what I mean? Like, or really any ship, the Hornet, you know, even a Gladius, Arrow, whatever, right? There are fundamental flaws in both these flight models. And in my opinion, Master Modes just makes combat more interesting. And if you don't think so, that's totally fine. But I just disagree. I think that the current flight model is inferior in almost every way. Delta, whenever I talk about like having fun fights in 322, you're one of the pilots I talk about. Is like someone who really likes pushing, who's like a really fun pilot to fight. But nobody likes fighting like that. It's so rare to find people. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I prefer the fight in 322, but
yeah, and
I guess we just have to adapt.
I understand that. Like, I'm not criticizing anyone who enjoys the last flight model more, because I do think that last flight model is really fun when it works. It just like, it's sometimes so painful. It's like pulling teeth to get someone to fight you the right way.
Yeah. People just go maximum speed and kind of backstrafe, launch missiles.
Yeah.
You want someone to, you know, be all up in your face.
And is there
like that?
Yeah. Is there more than one way to tackle this problem? 100%. But it just, you know, it is what it is. CIG's chosen this way. So I fought an F8 Lightning the other day in Master Modes in a Gladius. Oh my god, dude. It was so much fun. I was like out turning him like crazy. He couldn't backstrafe. He couldn't missile spam me. It was like just a turn fight, and he had good shots at me, but he wasn't good enough, and I ended up winning.
On the ships that fight, if you have ships that are same, it's very dull.
I
because
know,
there's
dude.
There's no positional. But if you have one that's, like you say, the F8 is tanky, puts out loads of DPS, and then if you put it against, something like Gladius or a Buck, which is, meta at the moment, it's a totally different fight, and it feels exciting because you can dip between, behind it and get shots on, and then if you're in front, it's, oh crap, because it puts those DPS in. It feels nice if you have two different types of ships, but if you have same for same, like me and one of my guys, we tried F8 v F8, and it's just, you got nothing other than just point at each other and shoot.
Yeah, and I've seen that. Mirror builds feel really weird, but I feel like, is that something that we're willing to sacrifice if all the other combinations feel good?
Yes, except everyone is going to be using
the same ships, you think?
It's the same. It will always be the same thing with if there's a meta type, right? Like, if all the meta is going to be interceptors, all the PvPers are going to be in interceptor type ships.
I understand that, but like, I guess in my head, where my head goes is what they're pushing for in this combat flight model is for more people to get together, So like, if you're rolling up in the interceptor and I'm in a Connie and with a man turret, well, dude, it's pretty much impossible for you to win now. If I was solo, you could beat me easily, but with a turret, it's game over. Like, it's either a stalemate or you lose.
Yeah. I get that.
But it's like, here's the question: is the new flight model going to be motivating enough to get people in the same ship? Will people get in the same ship? Because if they don't, then you're right. You're 100% right. Then it doesn't work.
I'm looking forward to the engineering side of things, because hopefully that will force people into multi-crewing the bigger ships and not having C2s trading solo.
I guess, like, in my head, what I want is to bridge that gap a little bit to like the Sea of Thieves gameplay, where like when you get multiple people on board, you got someone repairing, you got someone doing the sails, you got someone doing the navigating, and it sort of feels like you're a team, right? Like, I would love for us to start moving that direction when you start getting on bigger ships. And then light fighters are more of like for combat purposes, so that you can like fend off like heavy fighters and stuff like that, right? Sort of like a rock paper scissors thing. Someone who for various personal reasons can't play with other people. All this talk of forcing to play with other people in groups means that I won't be able to play this game that I love, and that makes me sad. Well, two things. First of all, I mean, it's an MMO, brother. What did you expect, right? It's like, getting sad. I would get sad, by the way. If I played WoW and this happened to me, I couldn't play with other people, I would get sad that I couldn't do the WoW raids, but that's just part of the game. But here's the deal, bro. There's going to be plenty of gameplay loops that are for solo players. 100%. But the strongest thing in the game should always be getting in a ship with your friends and having fun. Oh, D-Rex here in a Mantis too. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. All right, well. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm actually going to leave, go OM3, and then jump out. And then D-Rack and you guys just, try to kill me. And I'm going to try to, I guess, kill D-Rack and then get out. But then it's like, I guess I have to, right? Now, here's the thing, is when you snare me, do I automatically go into SCM mode, or am I in nav mode at SCM speed?
So it's nav in SCM speed.
Whoa, that needs to change.
Because when you naturally jump out of your jump in nav mode, it still limits you to SCM speed for a minute whilst I'm not sure whether it's the drive cooling down or spooling again, whatever it does, it keeps you at SCM speed.
Yo, chat, what are you guys even arguing about?
So it kind of
everyone take a deep breath. It's gonna be okay.
Forever.
All right, here I come. Oh, that's Delta. Oh, big teleport.
Damn.
Oh, but you guys are far away from me now, right? Like, I could lose y'all.
Yeah, it's a nice bit of desync.
Yeah. Oh, but you guys are back on me already. Wow. And then it doesn't matter.
It's working because your speedometer is mostly.
Okay, I'm soft death and about to be hard death. Okay. Yeah, really interesting. So if like you have a Mantis, the person's basically helpless. I mean, now I would love to test this out again at some point, but like maybe with like a full crew, you know, like if I had some turret gunners, how I'd fare. But yeah, you're definitely like more useless than you were in 322, right? But all it's doing is extending the engagement or shortening the engagement, because in 322 you were also boned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's not really a difference besides it's just quicker. All right, where are you on? All right, yeah. See if you can outturn me here. It looks like pretty much you can just immediately. Like I cannot get on nose with you at all. Now let's see if I start backstrafing. Boom. Are you pushing like really hard on me? This is me backstrafing.
Kind of hard.
I mean to like actually damage you, but dude, I can keep you in front of me the whole time. Actually, that's crazy.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the way that the combat works here, is kind of backstrafe, and then as someone comes in, push back through and just engage on the pass.
Yeah, unfortunate. That's how it feels like it's going to be.
Yeah, which is basically just jousting. Which is what they didn't want.
Do you mind if we switch really quick, Delta? The Gladius. While we're waiting on D-Rack, since he's got to pull a new ship anyways. I was just wondering if I could see that from my perspective. You try to backstray for me and I try to push on you.
Yeah,
I'm just curious how it feels from the Gladius perspective. Okay.
It could have been a skill issue on my part.
No, I'm not even trying to claim that. I just want to see how it feels is all. I mean, do I like if this is the case whenever I get in the ship and we, do this again, and this is how it is for most combat, like, that blows. But I will say the same problem exists in 322, It's like, it's really not any different. The problem is just less hit reg and more distance. But yeah, I guess here I come. It is really hard, but you can I can get around you, but it is really hard. I guess I'm just using a boost a lot. Like, I don't know, maybe it's my flight style that makes master modes feel good for me, but like, I'm loving it. Like, did you see how just cleanly I turned on you? Full speed? Like, I love the momentum in the new flight mode, personally. So if you're backstrafing me, yeah, that's pretty hard to get around. Like, I have to really push you really tight to get around you, and then now you're back around, right? I mean, I do have the advantage when it I do have the advantage when it comes to speed for sure, but it's tough. Like I have to boost manage perfectly to get around you. I will say too, is because of the way that master modes works, it is so funny like how many collisions happen. But okay, can I try something else? Can we try that again where you're like backstrafing me? Because like even a backstrafe me regularly, do you have to use boost? Like
no, I can keep on track with you like this. Yeah,
this is me just flying normally as well.
Hard, I definitely need to use boost.
If I push hard, right, so you start using the boost.
Okay, with boost, I can keep track most of the time.
Right, so I'm trying to be really sparing with my boost. You're using a lot, right? And then now I'm full boost. Or how much boost are you using? A lot?
I'm at 60%.
Okay, I'm at like 80, 90. So I'm trying to be a little more conservative. And then like once you're using a lot, I can focus more on just positional.
Oh, decent. I think the way to kind of defeat the Mantis is probably to try and drain it of boost, because once it's out of boost, you're
Yeah, that's
pretty
what I was
screwed.
thinking. Yeah, same thing. I was thinking the same thing.